Come in. Here are some of my friends. I think you'll find they have helpful opinions.
Slumber, take me down under. Romance me with dream, occupy my mind, let time drift away and sleep. Too much to do while awake.
Law is one of three forms of social control which regulate our daily lives. Custom, what we usually do. Moral code, what we should do. And law, what we must do.
Moral code should sort of be set on past experiences, I think, and certain things that you've learned from your family. Moral code, I don't think, lots of people would say it comes down to religion, or it comes down to the values you've been raised with, and I would definitely pick the latter.
Well, I wouldn't call it a code, but I do have certain morals, things that I, live my life by, I guess.
I have a Christian background, I guess, so a lot of my moral code is based on, Christian values and sort of, I guess, ideas that are based on, like, the Bible and stuff like that. But over the years, I've definitely probably adjusted it to certain things that, for me personally, may, I guess, differ from, say, what Christian values might speak to.
You have to try and pick up from what your parents taught you, or the people you hang around, like the influence.
I would say that my moral code is basically just, I feel like you should be you should know your will, and you should basically live your life on your will, figure out what you really want, and then go for it and do it. And I suppose I believe that, most people, when it comes down to it, don't really want to do, what might be typically known as, like, bad things.
Well, each of us has to set his own standards, I guess. Yes, but those standards vary with a lot of things.
I believe there is major moral collisions ahead, but at the same time, I think that each culture should have the right to maintain their moral ethics and uphold them. Depending on which perspective you're from, these may seem right or wrong, but if that civilization has been using them for as long as they have, then I believe they have the right to uphold them.
I've done a lot of traveling overseas, and I do feel more comfortable in other places, just because our culture here today, in this day and age, I think is so largely based on just taking advantage of other people, taking advantage of other situations, and I think it's really largely based on oppression, and I really don't agree with it. So
traditional morals or morals related to specific areas, I think definitely the chances of conflict arise as the contact between places increases. And I think that there's a lot more possibility for some morals to be broken with the greater amounts of technology and greater chances to do so that we do have nowadays. I think it's more likely that that will occur.
I think a lot of cultures and diverse peoples have a lot to offer for each other. Like, for example, like indigenous knowledge can add a lot to things that apply, to everyday living, like, living sustainable.
Because the internet has now become more widely based, now that you have the anonymity, you can basically say what you want, and that can create more conflict on a smaller scale.
People have to learn to make concessions and just, like, not go against their morals, but at the same time, like, just try to live as close to them as they can.
The best thing you can do is just kind of talk about it and sort of come up with what you feel is, like, the best argument. Like, you almost have to boil a lot of things down to, like, their base values, and then just build from there.
I have not shown you these pictures and quoted from this material merely to shock you or make this presentation sensational. It is only to show what is openly available on your newsstands. And think of this. What you have just seen is not the worst material available. And yet, even this required editing to make it suitable to be shown in this film.